Hi, welcome to my first, I'm so nervous. I was asked a question regarding or several questions regarding my fitness journey. And so I wanted to talk about those things as quickly and briefly as I could. Backtracking, since I am a nervous wreck at doing this, I will be better for the next ones, I promise. I'm really good at rambling. So a little backstory on my physique. I was a beanpole. I was a very skinny, long-haired person my entire life. It was actually funny because it was like my identity when I was a kid. So I never really struggled with weight as a child. Moving forward, I went to high school, same thing. College was a little bit different. I was still really skinny. And then I ended up transferring to FSU, which I went to school for 2 years there, finished out my degree. While I was there, I had horrible social anxiety. Really the only thing that I found suppressed my anxiety was going to the gym. It wasn't really for fitness goals. It was really just the only time that I was able to feel in control of the energy that I exerted, and it wasn't anxious energy. So that was my safe place. I was at the gym 6-7 days a week for an hour and a half to 3 hours. It was not healthy at all in the slightest. I would say my last semester of college, I gained a little bit of weight, probably 5 to 10 pounds, maybe 15 tops. And then after that, I put on anywhere from 40 to 50 pounds, and I had no idea. So I had a weird body dysmorphia after college that worked in my favor, which a lot of people I think don't talk about. And I had a mental image of myself and what I'd always looked like, right? So it was like, oh yeah, this is what I look like. Anytime I saw a picture of myself taken during that time frame, I was like, that's a horrible picture of me. That doesn't even look like me. Like, I completely discredited the photo and what was happening in the mirror even. I was like, yeah, whatever. Like, yeah, these are tight, or this used to be loose, but it's not anymore. And I really turned a blind eye to what was happening. And then I had a doctor's appointment last March. And when I went in, I stood on the scale and it said 198. And I remember looking down and staring at it and thinking, how dare this doctor's office have a scale that isn't accurate? That's so problematic. These patients are going to be traumatized by these numbers. It's severely off. Like, I was offended that they had it there, and it wasn't one of the ones where you move it across. So I was like, this isn't accurate. This isn't, there's no way. They need to, you know, change it or something, like make sure that this works properly. So I literally got in my car to the doctor's office and bought the most expensive, highly rated scale that I could find on Amazon and had it shipped to my house overnight because I needed to know the truth. So where some people have a problem with the scale, it was something where I didn't like standing on it. It wasn't like I was excited to track my weight, that I was way heavier than I thought I was, but it was really important for me to get on the scale at that time because anyone will tell me that I look good. My friends and family that care about me will say that I'm doing fine, or, you know, someone would maybe kindly say that I gained weight, but the scale was not going to be kind about it. It's going to be honest. So I didn't want the kindness. I wanted the truth. So I held myself accountable. I got on my scale, and that actually is funny. I think the one at the doctor's office said I was 194, and the one that came in said I was 198. And I was like, that's crazy. Like, I remember being so flabbergasted. I was in complete and utter shock. I immediately was like, okay, well, you know what to do. So it's okay, because I had previous experience in the gym in an unhealthy way. And I was like, you did that really unhealthy last time. Like, I knew I wasn't mentally okay. So I was like, that wasn't a healthy approach last time. You need to make sure that you do it properly. This, like, you're going to do it right. I didn't see anyone that had a before and after picture that looked like mine, or looked like what my before picture looked like. All of them were either girls that were naturally very skinny, trying to put on weight and muscle, or they were girls that were like severely obese that are now like bodybuilders. It was like one or the other, and it wasn't ever really, you know, someone that was 200 pounds that I looked overweight. I did not look healthy, but to anyone, I was thick. I was, for my body type, obese. And for me to say that about myself, I remember a couple of times saying that and people being like, what? No. Because in their head, obese means I'm, you know, pushing 700 pounds and gonna be on the TV for it. I was like, okay, what's the difference? Compare what I had here when I was in Tallahassee to what I have now. What am I missing? Well, the first thing was a gym that I liked. I loved going to the gym on campus. I was excited to go. It was big. It had all the equipment that I could possibly need, stuff that I didn't even know how to use at the time. And I was like, I need to go to a gym that encourages me and motivates me. Like, I want people to be there that are working harder than me. So I'm very competitive. So I was like, I want people there that are working harder than me and know what they're doing. And I want to keep up pace. I want to work out next to those people. But I found the gym, and then I basically immediately signed up for training, which was actually an accident. I didn't really understand what I was signing up for. Shout out to Paul for being a great salesman. But I was like, yeah, sure. So my best friend and I signed up for training, and then I was like, all right, I'm doing everything I need to do. You know, I was like, I'm training and I'm going to the gym, and I knew myself, and I knew I was going to be a psycho about going to the gym all the time, because I was so determined that I wanted to look a certain way. Because in all of the people that I've followed on social media and influencers and everyone that's been sharing their stories, something that they always said was say, hey, a year from now, you're gonna be so happy that you stuck with it. And at the time, a lot had been going on in my life that I knew that time healed. In that circumstance, what was going on with me, time is what would heal me. And I was so frustrated that I was waiting on time again. And I was like, well, they're not lying when they say time is gonna pass and you are gonna keep doing what you're doing, and time is still gonna keep passing. So I'm gonna make the most of this. I don't want to look back in a year and say that I gave up or not have the progress to show. So I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna show up every day, whether I want to or not. And it was really hard in the beginning to want to show up. I was really lucky to have a friend that was doing it with me at the time, because sometimes she was more motivated than I was and was like, hey, we're going to the gym, right? And I was like, yes, even though I didn't really want to. But then after a while, I was like, I can't not go to the gym. Something that was really frustrating about the beginning phases of going to the gym was I had had the previous experience of knowing that I was this type of strong, and I could run this long, and I could do interval sprints, and I was, you know, in good cardiovascular shape. So when I was going to the gym this time around, I was like, wow, this is 20 pounds lighter than I used to lift. This is embarrassing, and I'm frustrated. I spent so much time in the gym frustrated, and it was something where I was like, I cannot wait until I'm able to do a lat pull down at 70 pounds again. I can't wait until I can go lift a 15-pound dumbbell and curl it. Like, I was so annoyed with myself at not only how physically I didn't like how I looked, but I was weak, you know? I had lost so much strength, and I was only 24 at the time. So I was like, this is ridiculous. I was like, why can't I do anything? Why can't I run? I couldn't even get myself to run. I was trying to run, and I was like, wow, 1 minute feels like a lifetime. And I used to do interval sprints like a mad woman until I was gonna pass out for 10 to 15 minutes. So it was insane to me that I couldn't jog at a really, really slow pace. Like, I was just blown away. If you don't like where you are and you're not moving forward, you're gonna stay there. And then my trainer ended up actually leaving the gym. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna quit then. So I walk up to my friend who sold me the training membership and I was like, hey, I'm going to quit. And he's like, no, you're not. And I was like, no, I am. I don't want to do training anymore. Like, we're done here. I'm gonna still work out. I'm good. I got this. Like, I'm okay. And he's like, no, you're gonna work out with Justin. I ended up working out with him and he worked one-on-one with me, and we kind of realized that I didn't like body weight activities. I liked strength training and I really liked powerlifting. I didn't know how to powerlift, and so he spent a lot of time with me learning how to do that, and I spent more time in the gym than I had before. Mind you, this is like over a period of 6 months. This is probably March to September that I was doing this. Late August. It was March to late August that I started, that I had been working out this whole time, and I had not lost a pound. I hadn't lost anything. I was so frustrated. And then I realized, I was like, wow, I have no idea how to deadlift. Will you teach me? So he taught me how to do that. And then, you know, the rest followed. I bench, squat, deadlift. And he was like, I was like, so what do I do with this? Like, I know how to do it now. What do I do? He was like, just squat, bench, and deadlift every day. I was like, what? I was like, okay, sure. And that's what I did. I squat, bench, deadlift every day until my form was bad. Until my form was good. I had a good idea of what I was doing, that I could do it on my own. I didn't want to always have to be assisted. I wanted to be able to figure out what I like to do and be really good at it. So more time had passed, probably August to November, that it hit me that I had only lost about I want to say 5 to 10 pounds. It wasn't a lot. I definitely was not 10, but it was a little bit more than 5, I think. But I realized something wasn't working. So I was frustrated. I was like, I've been working out since March. Why haven't I lost any weight? I'm here 6 to 7 days a week. I'm resting because you're telling me to. I was like, I'll be here 7 days a week, I swear. Like 6 days didn't feel like enough. And I was like, something else is wrong. Like, something has to be wrong. And in my head, I was like, I don't eat a lot. There's no way that this is a problem. Everyone always said that carbs was their issue, and I wasn't experiencing that. I remember early on that time frame, I stormed up to Justin at the end of 1 week because I was feeling so run down and tired, and I was like, why do I feel so weak? Like, what is going on? And I stormed up to him and I was like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I do this? Why is this so difficult all of a sudden? I was like, all I want is to be successful at this, and it's not working. And I was so angry. And he was like, well, do you track your food? And I was like, no. Like, who has time for that? I'm not gonna track my food, you psycho. Like, I wanna have a healthy relationship with food. I barely eat, it's fine. Like, and he was like, well, when's the last time you had carbs? And I was like, what? Because you probably know, everyone on the internet says carbs are bad. I remember I was like, well, I don't really know when the last time I ate carbs was actually. He was like, well, it's probably why you're tired. And he's like, you're exerting a lot of energy and you're trying to lift weights and you don't eat carbs. And I was like, okay. So I made sure that I ate carbs. And then I realized after tracking my diet that I was eating an insane amount of fat in every meal. I was eating next to no protein, and my carb was lower than my protein intake. So it's basically just eating foods that weren't satiating, and they weren't fueling my muscles, and they weren't giving me natural energy, and they were stopping me from losing weight. Again, I worked out 6 to 7 days a week, and because I wasn't eating balanced, 3 meals a day, I'd eat all of my calories in dinner. I would have coffee, which is an appetite suppressant, in the morning, and then I would have a medium-sized lunch. If I ate lunch at all, I would snack on random things that were 200, 400 calories without even thinking about it. And all of these numbers that I wasn't paying attention to weren't adding up, and so my scale wasn't changing. Once I started paying attention to my food and what I ate, and just making sure that things were balanced. I was eating a lot. I didn't restrict, I wasn't cutting or anything. I was just paying attention. And I was making sure that I was eating protein, and I was making sure that I was eating carbs. And I started feeling stronger in the gym. I started feeling like I had more energy. I started feeling like I was actually making progress in my muscles. And I was like, I'm still not losing a lot of weight. What's going on? And he's like, well, do you sleep? And I was like, oh, yeah, okay. Like, everyone talks about sleep, whatever. No, I didn't sleep. I was horrible at sleeping. I did not prioritize it. I knew that my schedule was messed up, and to fix it was going to be a whole other ballpark of trying to focus and hyper focus on all of these aspects of my life that were contributing. I don't know if you guys know this, but like, you can't drink your calories. I was drinking coffee almost every day. Drinking my calories, I was drinking enough calories for a meal and a drink. And I was doing that every day, and I was drinking alcohol and doing all of these things that were contributing, and then being like, oh, but I barely eat. How am I putting on weight? I was drinking my calories. I was drinking my meals. I was drinking my macros, and it wasn't fueling me for the workout. So I was exhausting myself in my workout, coming home and not sleeping. Of course I wasn't losing weight. Eventually, after incorporating sleep, what I was eating, not drinking, drinking black coffee if I wanted coffee, paying attention to those little things, I started to lose weight drastically. And at this point, I had been changing so many different aspects of what I was doing daily, just my regular function, that I was like, I'll do whatever it takes. I was like, I'm done. I was like, I have been working out like a mad woman, absolutely killing myself every day at the gym. I'm not seeing any results. I was like, I'm pushing my year mark. It's stressing me out that I haven't lost this fat that's sitting on my body. I was like, I'm trying so hard, and I just want to do whatever it takes. Turns out, whatever it takes was eating more. I had to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, believe it or not. I had to basically force feed myself a second breakfast and dinner, because I wasn't hitting my calories, and my body wasn't getting what it needed. I was eating satiating foods that were low in calorie, and it blew my mind that I was eating all of this food, and 3 of my meals made up the one takeout meal that I used to have. And I was like, how is this? This is insane. I feel like I'm literally force feeding myself. And people always talk about dieting. It's like, oh, you don't get to eat a lot. And it's like, no, you get to eat a lot of good food. You just don't get to eat a lot of the carbonara, which I love. Guys, I love carbonara. I love it. I'm still gonna eat it. Still gonna eat it. But I couldn't, at that time, I had goals that I wanted for myself. So from November to February, I lost 40 pounds. And I sat at that 40 pound mark from there, and I kind of fell off, which I'm grateful that I did, because I was able to see that my body could maintain where I was at and not gain weight. So I was able to eat the carbonara that I wanted. I was able to have pizza. I was figuring out how to work out properly. I was dropping clothing sizes and having to repurchase clothes and all of these things. And it was insane to me that after all of this hard work and time that I was putting in for almost a year of that progress, that so much of my progress came from a short period of time of actually committing to my goal. I feel like self-love right now is a huge movement. That's great that people are really vocal about supporting, but so few people are participating. And I'm really proud of my progress of where I've come. I have so many diet tips and cutting tips and food and just different things that I can talk about that I'll make my next videos about. But I just wanted to kind of go over a brief fitness journey type thing. So here is some of my before pictures of what I looked like, and pictures that kind of resonated with me if I saw them and I didn't recognize myself. And then here are some of my after. And I say after loosely because I'm gonna keep going. Obviously, I have 10 pounds until I hit my goal weight, and then even then, I don't know when I'm gonna stop. I want to keep doing this forever. I absolutely love the lifestyle that I've created for myself. It feels healthy and right, and it's really impacted my mental health in a positive way as well. Everything is just kind of turned for the better, and I don't think that's something that anyone would want to give up. I can say something that people asked me all the time at the beginning when I said, like, I was posting that I was going to the gym and I was doing all this stuff, and they were like, what do you want to look like? What's your end goal? What are you trying to do? And I was like, I don't know. And that was so strange for people to listen to, is I didn't know what I wanted to look like because I wasn't fantasizing about someone else's body. I wanted my own. I wanted my body to look healthy and strong. And I had never had it look like that before. So when someone was like, what's your goal? What do you want to look like? Do you have a picture? Do you have a reference? Like, what are you searching for? What are you actively working towards? And I was like, I don't have a mental image, but I'll have a real image later if you bear with me. So that's something that I've always been really proud of, is my approach to it. I was able to keep really healthy, and it only got healthier the more I paid attention to how much a healthy approach matters. So that's something that I feel like I really stayed true in, and I couldn't be happier with how that went. But yeah, I'm very thrilled to say the least with my results thus far. And like I said, if you want to follow along, you can subscribe to this channel, or I will be posting more videos like this, really just answering some of my friends' questions. They want to know about like diet foods and stuff that's been really helpful to me, and then I'd be more than happy to share workouts and stuff like that as well. So if you do give me a big thumbs up, or subscribe to my channel, or both, or neither, and ask questions, whatever you'd like, I'd love to answer them the best that I can. I love to learn, and this is just the beginning for me. So thanks so much for watching. I hope that I haven't said a million times, but if anything, all the advice that I can give is to stick with it. Do you want this? Do you want it? Like, it's not if it would be nice. Like, do you want this? You have to stay positive and be disciplined, and that's not open for negotiation. Understand that it took time for you to gain the weight. It's gonna take time for you to lose it.